this can't be related to me. I don't think it's related to me, but let's take a listen anyways, because they're all convinced they're just paranoid and firing a bunch of people. Take a listen.
I mean, Frank, this is kind of wild.
I understand where you're coming from.
I know, and I know best to be here, and
yeah.
So...
And now TPUSA is suddenly letting people go left and right. No warning, no explanation, no respect for those who've devoted years to the organization. Careers built over decades are being tossed aside overnight, with employees blindsided and unable to speak to whoever made the call. Candace Owens is calling out the mess inside TPUSA, accusing certain people of dishonesty, and claiming the group prioritizes donor money over the truth, while trying to silence her for speaking up. She says Charlie Kirk had begun rethinking some international political stances before his passing, which didn't sit well with leadership, and after he died, the organization shifted back to its previous positions. Over $200 million has reportedly been raised since Charlie's passing, raising questions about how it's being used, and insiders are allegedly being fired to prevent information from reaching Candace. Nearly 40 employees were let go in one wave, and Candace highlighted 2 specific people caught up in it, revealing a ruthless effort to protect both narrative and cash flow. Meanwhile, attempts by Erica Kirk to frame it as my TPUSA family no longer resonate amid the growing unrest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really content leaving for the day without further documentation, explanation, anything.
I understand, but it's time to go. We're just gonna say today's the last day, and that's what we're gonna operate now.
And there's nothing else y'all are going to offer me or plan to offer me. No, I'll send you an email about off-boarding instructions, because essentially outlines where you can submit a business report, and then detailing the pay and when you sit out.
And you will receive your year-end bonus from your performance for the year, so that will be in that paycheck too.
Okay. So, I mean,
yeah,
this is crazy.
This isn't a small group of friends. TPUSA is a massive operation with hundreds of staff, 600 employees, big budgets, and corporate money. That's not a family, that's a business. And now they're reportedly targeting anyone who might have talked to Candace Owens or even seemed like they could, with instant terminations, no explanations, no meetings, cold, calculated, almost mechanical. One firing was allegedly recorded, and the way it went down shows just how little heart remains behind the scenes. It's like a moment straight out of Goodfellas, final and inescapable, someone saying it's over and shutting the door for good. Imagine dedicating 80, 90 hours a week since Charlie Kirk's passing, trying to hold things together, only to be told abruptly, no, get out, without a single chance for explanation or closure. Loyalty, effort, sleepless nights, none of it matters. The man reportedly doing the firing had even told her weeks earlier she was in line for a promotion. Yet now he shows up with no hesitation, no empathy, and no reason, leaving people begging for answers and met with total silence. It's shocking, impersonal, and deeply cold, and it's happening across a giant organization that presents itself as a family, but acts like a ruthless corporate machine.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
No, and I know you're going to keep saying I understand.
Yeah.
Like, I know that.
No, I know.
And I know there's probably no magic string of words that I could piece together to procure some type of answer. But yeah. I think on a surface level, like, I'm not going to walk out of here until I say my piece. Like, I mean, y'all know this. I just worked a series of 80, 90-hour weeks plus for Amfest.
Yeah,
I've had no direction or explanation since we've come back. Our CEO has been assassinated. I've done nothing but bend over backwards for this organization to the point where I'm wondering if this is a prank.
It's not a prank. I would never do that.
So I'm just trying to understand. And
no, I understand. It's time to...
So do I get to have a conversation with Dylan? Do I get to have a conversation with Justin or anybody? Or
Nope.
No. And there's no explanation as to why I'm going to let go.
Right now, we'll leave it all.
You know, and you're going to keep saying a different direction, but I'm trying to understand how I've met multiple times with my...
Well, to go in a different direction with the team, I have to ask you to leave now.
You have to ask me to leave property?
Yes.
No, you can't even say goodbye to your team. Just cold rejection at every turn. And when you think about what that means for someone's future, it's even worse. Trying to find a new job, having to explain why you were let go, yet having no reason to give because nobody told you. That uncertainty lingers, eats at confidence, and makes you question what really went on behind closed doors. It's not just the firings themselves, but the way they're handled, the silence, secrecy, and total lack of compassion, painting a picture of a company that's lost its humanity, where decisions are made in the shadows, and people who gave everything are treated like they never mattered. The responses are ice cold, I understand what you're saying, while completely ignoring the reality, flipping lives upside down, erasing paychecks, hurting future prospects, and offering nothing but a robotic, get out. And yet, this is the same family Erica Kirk claims can't be questioned. How can anyone call it a family when loyalty, effort, and faith are met with ruthless rejection? It's heartbreaking and exposes a stark contradiction between TPUSA's public image and what's reportedly happening behind the scenes. Once seen as a movement rooted in faith, values, and doing the right thing, it now looks more like a massive political operation cloaked in moral branding, with influence, money, and power prioritized over integrity and compassion. Critics say the mission has shifted from spiritual guidance to corporate ambition, with loyalty tests and money trails replacing purpose. And that's where things get truly uncomfortable.
Due to what, Frank?
Because we're asking you to leave because you've been terminated and we're not.
But there's no explanation or documentation for this. I've never had one bad review from Dawn. I've never had one issue with the company. I've never done anything unethical. And so I'm sitting here understanding why my entire livelihood is being completely tossed out. I mean, I sat in this chair.
You're gonna do great things.
No, and I
plan to. I don't think your livelihood's being tossed out. I think you're very successful.
Well, my paycheck every other week is being tossed out, Frank, with absolutely no warning whatsoever.
I understand. But at this time, it's time for you to go.
It's time for me to go. Why? Like this is the treatment that Turning Point is offering now.
It's time to go.
Frank, this is crazy.
No, I understand where you're coming from.
I don't think you do. This feels very heartless. This feels without emotion.
I do understand where you're coming from.
This feels completely without emotion.
But at this time, I have to ask you.
Because TPUSA once claimed to represent traditional values and moral clarity, the image now emerging from those pushed out tells a very different story. One of control, greed, and fear. People feel their faith and dedication have been used as tools in a much larger agenda. Behind the speeches and flashy events, the focus appears to be keeping money flowing, protecting power, and shaping young minds into a single political mold. Whispers are no longer about faith or values, but about who's getting rich, who's being silenced, and who's being forced out to keep the machine running. Meanwhile, Erica Kirk maintains a polished public front, smiling on stage and talking about unity, while insiders describe a toxic environment where one wrong word can cost a job. Disloyalty is met with instant dismissal, and doors are locked behind those let go. Even employees still inside reportedly feel uneasy, having seen and heard too much, as rumors spread about the sudden firings of people who had stayed loyal after Charlie Kirk's passing and helped stabilize the organization. Those same people are now being shown the door, leaving everyone asking, what's really happening behind closed doors? Candace Owens is reportedly the only person unafraid to question the narrative publicly, and that has leadership on edge, as she continues to highlight how the story just doesn't add up.
Within the same day, maybe the next day, I actually am not completely sure, another person gets hauled in, thinks that she's getting a raise, and actually they just tell her that she's fired. It's like thinking I crushed it at Ambest. I am definitely about to get a raise. This company is flush with cash. Actually, you're fired. And so she asks the attorney, why am I being fired? And the attorney just says, we're going in a different direction. You don't get to have an explanation. Security's outside, leave.
There are too many gaps, conflicting accounts, and financial questions nobody wants to answer. The more Candace Owens speaks out, the more defensive TPUSA becomes, doubling down on secrecy, cutting off communication, and trying to silence anyone raising concerns. And then there's the money. Over $200 million reportedly raised since Charlie Kirk's passing, prompting questions about where it's going, how new luxury expenses appeared while longtime staff were losing their jobs, and why insiders whisper about new corporate offices, luxury travel budgets, and contracts benefiting a small circle of executives. Some say it feels less like a movement and more like a polished, profitable brand curated for donors, disconnected from the grassroots energy that once gave it power. It's not just about money, it's about direction. Before he passed, Charlie Kirk reportedly grew critical of certain foreign entanglements and wanted the US to focus on freedom, community, and independence. Now that vision appears flipped, the tone, message, and partnerships have changed, and Erica Kirk, stepping in as the new leader, is seen by many as rewriting his legacy, turning it corporate, global, and aligned with wealthy donors' interests. That's why backlash is growing. People once loyal to TPUSA are questioning whether it's even the same organization, and Candace has been shouting that the values are gone, replaced by a machine built on influence and control, with every event, partnership, and campaign driven by money rather than genuine conviction.
And so at this point, the employee hits record on their phone because they don't understand what's happening. And thankfully they did. So you can now listen to the, I guess not excuse. There's nothing really to listen to other than her not being able to get an answer, what she did wrong. And I'm making this very clear to you. I am not kidding. I promise you on everything. I had never in my life communicated. I mean, maybe I saw her in the, I don't know. I shouldn't say never in my life. I maybe was backstage. I never spoke to this employee once, never anything at all. Period. Not one of my sources, nothing.
The heart of TPUSA, the passion that once brought people together, is being replaced with scripted loyalty and enforced silence. Many say that's why the mass firings are happening. It's not just about leaks, it's about control. Erica Kirk and her inner circle reportedly want to eliminate anyone who might challenge their narrative or question how funds are being used, keeping a perfect public image of smiles, lights, and slogans while the real drama stays buried. But the internet doesn't forget. Every clip, contradictory statement, and past promise remains online. And as people connect the dots, seeing shifts in messaging, alliances, and once champion topics now ignored, suspicion grows. Former employees are starting to speak quietly, and those stories about firings, sudden power shifts after Charlie Kirk's passing, and mistreatment are beginning to spread, making it harder for TPUSA to deny them. The irony is sharp. The organization built its image on exposing corruption and demanding accountability, yet now it faces those same questions internally. For Erica Kirk, this may be the biggest test of her career, balancing public perception, donor loyalty, and an internal revolt all at once.
Into this firing thing. I have a lot, and I got to organize it over the weekend and things to give to you guys, and it's good because we're about to have a snowstorm and I can kind of plug in. So I still don't understand what caused it. I can't get to the root of what happened, but what I can tell you is that one person got brought into an office by Andrew Colvett and was told that the CMO got into an Uber car and asked, just striking up some conversation with the Uber driver. I was like, what do you think about Turning Point USA and like the Charlie Kirk thing? And he starts saying, oh, well, I actually have a daughter who knows somebody that works at Turning Point USA, and maybe she doesn't like the stuff that's going on at the company. An Uber driver was making small chat with an executive at Turning Point USA and said his daughter knew someone, and that person had potentially said something that he didn't really love Erica. She didn't really love Erica at the helm anyways.
They're questioning the very integrity of the organization. They're asking whether TPUSA still stands for what it once did, or if it's become just another political machine obsessed with power and influence. And as the tension rises, one fact becomes unavoidable: you can't silence everyone forever. The harder they try to shut people down, the louder those voices grow. The firings, the denials, the glossy press statements, none of it can undo what's already been seen and heard. Sooner or later, the truth will emerge, and when it does, it won't just rattle TPUSA. It will redefine what people thought they knew about Charlie's legacy, Erica's leadership, and the empire they built together. And here's where the story darkens further, because people are realizing this isn't just about firings or finances. It's about control, image, and the fear of being exposed. TPUSA spent years building a public image. Youthful, patriotic, faith-driven, fearless. Behind the cameras, insiders describe a culture more like an empire of fear, loyalty tests, and manipulation. Those once proud to wear the TPUSA badge are now quietly stepping back. They say things like, "It's not what it used to be," or "Charlie would never have allowed this." Those words sting, coming from the people who knew him best, the ones who witnessed how much he gave to the cause. After his passing, many expected the organization to carry his mission forward with integrity. Instead, it feels hijacked. Erica Kirk assumed leadership quickly, and at first, there was sympathy. People wanted her to succeed, to continue her husband's work. But what followed shocked even supporters. The organization's tone shifted. Less transparency, more secrecy, more control. An environment where everyone fears asking questions, reviewing the books, or even mentioning Charlie in the wrong context. Because if they do, they might be packing boxes by day's end. Some insiders describe it as living in a glass office. Everything appears perfect on the outside,